Welcome to Be the Light 365. I'm Pastor Jake. We're in Matthew chapter 24, verses 9 through 14 for our Bible study. And Jesus telling his disciples, because he's been talking about the rumors, don't worry about them. Things are going to happen. He said, you'll be delivered up, you'll be afflicted, you'll be killed, you'll be hated among all the nations. And he goes on, he says, some will offend, some will betray each other. Others will hate one another, false prophets shall rise. A lot of people's hearts will go wax cold over it. He said, those who stay to the end, who run the race, who fight the good fight, he said they shall be saved. Matter of fact, at the end of it, he says on this, he says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for the witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Like I said, in this thing with Jesus is this. We're supposed to be out there preaching the gospel. There's going to be a lot of people preaching different gospels. That's the ones we stay away from. Those who preach another Jesus. Now, there are going to be some, I hear this all the time from pastors, well, he's not preaching like us, he's not our religion, so he's wrong. Well, Jesus says this about one of them when his disciples came to him. He said, look, there's somebody out there casting out demons in your name, and Jesus says, those that are with me are for me. In other words, those that are preaching Jesus, that are preaching the Gospels, that are preaching the Word of God, they're preaching the Word of God out of their heart. Some, Paul said, will preach out of their bellies. In other words, they'll preach the Gospel for their own self. He said they'll get their rewards in heaven. Our job is to preach the Word of God. Don't worry about the end of times, because Jesus is coming. What you need to be is out there preaching the Word, staying on the Word, fighting a good fight, running the good race, staying to the end. Those shall be saved, as he says. Those shall reap a reward. And our reward in this world is God. God is our reward. Not heaven, not a big mansion in heaven, but God himself.